Okay.
Yeah. Good. All right. So some say that the crisis in South Sudan right now is due to a coup. Some say it's a tribal conflict. If you should put it into sort of a bullet point to explain to me from outside, what is the conflict about?
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Ezkiel Lol Gatkouth. I was an ambassador in New York and also in Washington. I was also the last four, those who were detained. I was taken to court, and then they were supposed to actually try me as a coup plotter. The four of us, we were 11. 7 were released. 4 of us remain in prison. And then, of course, they were taken to court, and then the case was dismissed because there was no coup. It is actually a pretext by Salva to get rid of his enemies. There was no coup at all. Concerning tribalism, or some people are calling it tribal war, it is not a tribal war. It is actually Salva declaring war on his enemies, those who were calling for reforms. I was one of them. We were basically saying that we need to stop corruption, we need to stop tribalism and nepotism, we need to repair our relations internationally, we need to actually have a rule of law in the country. General reforms, we were calling for those reforms. And then from there, he cannot tolerate internal democracy within the party. And then he decided to use the army to declare war on all of us. And then, of course, you have heard what had happened in Juba. Over 20,000 South Sudanese from the Nuer community were killed by his presidential guards.
So what are you fighting for now?
We are not fighting.
Fighting is going on in Bentiu.
It is actually going on. It is actually a fight imposed on us by Salva. This is a war of Salva. We are not for war. We don't even want this war from the beginning. You know, my chairman, Dr. Riek Machar, together with myself and others in the SPLM leadership, we were calling for reforms. If Salva would have allowed democracy to take place, we would not have this war. But now the war is imposed on us. Yes, there is a war now, but we are ready and committed to end this war as soon as possible. We in the SPLM, SPLA, under the leadership of Dr. Riek Machar, we want this war to end. And we are actually reaching out to Salva to accept peace.
So what is your goal? What are you working towards right now?
Basically, we are actually working toward many things, but let me actually narrow them down into one. Since South Sudan is a new nation, we want a nation that is stable, peaceful, and democratic. So we want a total reforms so that we have a system that is favorable to all the communities. We have 64 tribes in South Sudan, and we have 10 states in South Sudan. So the better system that can govern us as South Sudanese is federalism. South Sudanese, they have been calling for federal system since 1947. So we want this to be realized in that agreement. We want also a total transformation of the security service. A security service, the army, the police, the national security, that is loyal to the state. It is not supposed to be loyal to one person like Salva Kiir or Riek Machar if he is going to be the president tomorrow. It has to be loyal to the state, the security force. Also, we want a complete overhaul of the system because it has been rotten to the core. You know, people are being employed in that government of Salva Kiir because of what or who you know, not what you do or what you know. It is based on favoritism, nepotism. It is not a system that recognizes the talents of individuals.
But at the same time as the struggle is going on in Bentiu and other places, and you're pressing for these points that you just mentioned in peace talks, it seems that the president is galvanizing his strength or his power in Juba by giving more authority to the security services, and it looks like he's sort of moving in the direction of dictatorship. And maybe he has all the good cards in his hand, because he has the money coming from the oil industry, he has the Ugandan friends, support from outside, he has the he's dealing with the UN because he's the president in the capital. Do you think this struggle that, or what you're talking about, is something that will take a long time?
Well, I think the region is for peace. That's why the IGAD is mediating under His Excellency the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Prime Minister Haile Mariam Desalegn, and the whole region is for peace. The international community is for peace. The Troika countries, those who actually, especially the United States of America, where I was the ambassador, they are the one who made South Sudan to be an independent country. It is because of the work of the US and other international community, the European Union. They made South Sudan to be what it is now. And for them, they want peace to be realized as soon as possible. Yes, Salva is a dictator. Not wanted to be. He is already a dictator. He's turning South Sudan. He has turned South Sudan into a police state. He lost legitimacy because if you look at it now, he has to use a foreign force to maintain him as the president of the republic. The reason why he's in Juba is because of Uganda. If Uganda withdraw today, he's not going to be in South Sudan. He knows that. And that is why we are saying, okay, fine. Uganda, he's a neighbor. Let us have peace. And when we have peace, Uganda will withdraw. Because nobody wants this war. So for sure, the whole world, the region, and the people of South Sudan, South Sudanese, they want peace. Even if Salva is going to bring Uganda or whoever he's going to bring, like the Sudan rebels, those who are based in South Sudan, supported by him and Uganda to fight Bashir in the north. And also to fight us because they are also fighting us. We are telling Salva, you can use all those mercenaries, but I think it is very important to have peace. Let us have peace so that we move quickly to build our country, because South Sudan is a very rich country. Before the oil shut down, we were producing 500,000 barrels a day. If you translate this into money, it is 50 million a day. Times 30 days is $1.5 billion a month. So you can build roads with a population of 10, 12 million. We have a lot of money that we can use to transform South Sudan into a better South Sudan. Would be even better than some countries like Dubai or Singapore.
But could you be a little worried that, you you gave this number, 20,000 people have lost their lives around Juba during the episode, the episode in December, these 2 days of December.
Yes.
That a lot of hatred has been sowed. That many people want revenge. Maybe they have fled, maybe their families were killed in Juba, and when they come back, they want revenge. And this could fuel further retaliation and fighting.
For us, in the SPLM, SPLA, we want peace with justice and accountability. Because those who have lost their loved ones, they want somebody to be held accountable. And then if this process is launched now, because the AU Commission of Inquiry is doing this, so those who are responsible will be held accountable. And then when you do that, then you have now the responsibility as two warring parties to reconcile, to heal, and reunite the communities. And South Sudanese are capable of reconciling, I'm sure, with peace and commitment from the two leaders, Salva and Dr. Riek, plus us, working together as a team, we will reconcile South Sudan. So because for your information, South Sudanese, Dinka are 3.5 million. The Nuers, where Dr. Machar is from, they are 3 million, which is 6.5 million already. And if the population of South Sudan is estimated to be 12 million, half of the population is fighting itself. We definitely need to reconcile the two communities for South Sudan to have stability.
And could you see a Kia in a powerful position after a peace agreement? Could you continue after what you
That is war now.
described?
That is war now. What we are proposing is a power sharing formula. You definitely need to have a president and prime minister sharing power equally. And I believe that Salva and Riek must work together in whatever capacity they have to reconcile the country, because they are the one who are actually holding the keys to peace and stability. And then from there, federal system, and then reforms. These are the steps that we want to see happening so that South Sudan can come back together.
I'd like to end by posing a question to you that I also gave to the Danish head of the UN mission in Lol. She's the top boss of UN in your country. And I asked her whether the international community and also Denmark, my country, have, as you know, we have been supporting
very much
your country for many years. If perhaps we had been a little bit naive to think that, celebrate the independence and then everything would just turn out in a nice and orderly fashion after 21 years of civil war. Do you think that we have been a little naive?
I think you left us alone too early because, you assume that we are going to be able to handle ourselves. I think now quick fix should not be applied anymore. When we have an agreement with the formula of power sharing, federalism applied, reforms, and a better security arrangement, because you cannot put these forces back together again. You must disengage them and form a nucleus, a joint integrated unit that can be the symbol of the national army. Then from there, a heavy hand of the international community should be realized so that we implement the agreement together, we reconcile the communities together. So what I would actually say is you need to be with us during this transitional period so that we reforms the system together. You coach us.
We left you alone too
yes, yes. You left us alone too early. The European Union, the Troika countries, the Africans, because most of the African countries, they know what happens when a country is transitioning from civil war to a new independent country. So most of the countries that are in the region, they have been having civil wars after independence. So definitely we were left alone. And with the capacity of President Salva Kiir, not tolerating democratic voices within the party and also in the government, and he's not tolerant to criticism, then definitely, and with a culture of militarism, because political militarism, this is what we know. We have been, I have been in war since 1984. That's when I joined the movement. So what I know is shooting, and that's it. So the rest, when I was sent to political schools and diplomatic schools, when I was prepared to assume responsibilities as an ambassador, it was a strange thing to me. Yeah, I didn't know this. So, and I think this transformation needs to be realized now so that we work together and unite and reconcile the country so that we can have a stable South Sudan. But the work that has been done by the European Union, especially Denmark, it is commendable and appreciated. And my appeal to the people of Denmark, you should not disown us or leave us alone. We're human beings, all of us, regardless of your color. We are all human beings. If a human being is suffering from the other side of the world, you will feel it. So your support to the people who are in the IDP camps, in the refugee camps, under trees in South Sudan, suffering from diseases, you need to help them. The children that are there, you really need to help them and put your weight in bringing peace as soon as possible so that we rescue those who are alive.
Very good. Thank you very much.